Live. Welcome back to the Wanna Parlay podcast. I'm Lance Bell. Next to me is Jack Neuheisel. Jack, go ahead and tell everyone who sponsors this podcast.
Wouldn't you know it, the Wanna Parlay podcast is brought to you by the good people of Wanna Parlay. Where every day they are making thousandaires out of people just like you and me, except for not so much people like me, because god dang it, legally I'm not allowed to play there. But $2, folks, gets you a chance to win $2,000 every week. You got a chance every night to go win $1,000. It is truly one of the great hubs of all gambling and gaming, I suppose is technically the legal term we're searching for there. But it is the place to be. If you have not created an account, head over there now. Use promo code TACO or promo code CASH. Get yourself going. We just talked to our buddy earlier in the week. He's up $16,500 right now on the page, people. Dialed picks. Go make the account, see what he's doing, tail him, get comfortable, start making some money. We are at the midway point of our Wanna week, but people are making money quick. They're making quick work of the Wanna contest this week, and Wanna is making rich men and women out of all of them. So a couple special shout outs to hand out today, and we're hoping to get these guys on for some interviews to hear about their experience and hopefully get a little tricks of the trade so we can all be making a little bit more money. Our boy Kenny Goins, aka Kendrick No Lamar, is going to be hopefully popping by for a little bit, talk all things Wanna, as well as J Tato 4, our brother from Arkansas. So anxious to talk to those two guys. Those are our special shout outs of the day. KG Little Joe's is somewhere hanging out there, making sure to go donate to that toy drive. We're getting real close to Christmas here. Go make sure to participate before it's too late. That's at Little Joe's in the Chicago, Illinois area if you are around there. But that is Wanna Parlay. Those are our people. This is my man Lance. Here we go. Let's do it, baby.
All right. Well, starting us off, it's accountability time. This one, I'm not too happy to revisit, but let's let you start. How'd you do?
Give me a sec here to get organized, to get my head right. I'm checking our waiting room. I'm trying to make sure you lead us off.
I'm leading this off. I wanted to stay away from it, but it's inevitable. I have to. Bucks minus 7.5. Wagner Banchero out was my reasoning. It does not matter. Those Orlando Magic players wanted the 500K more than the Bucks, but the Bucks snuck away with a win. Good for them. They're moving on to Vegas. And the next pick, Mavs plus 4.5. Our reasoning: I've seen Luka deliver in big games. Shea has yet to prove himself in moments in games that matter, though this is just NBA Cup play. Well, folks, I was goddamn wrong on the complete opposite side of that, of what actually happened. Shea came out and delivered, showed that he is a top guy in the NBA, and that I should put a lot more respect on his name. And Luka actually did awful. He got clamped by Dort. We thought it wouldn't happen. We literally sat here and probably talked for 2 minutes about that. But it did happen. So, I'm going to be honest, betting on these NBA Cup games have been tough because it's not the standard regular season games you see. There's a weird amount of effort from some and not as much from others. So it's tough. We'll just take those two on the chin. And the parlay, my God, if you took the complete opposite, you almost would have been a winner. Bucks money line win. Lillard over 3.5 threes, loss. Giannis over 5.5 assists, loss. Giannis over 11.5 rebounds, loss. Dallas plus 3.5, loss. Doncic over 8.5 assists, loss. But Lou Dort over 1.5 threes win. Hey, sneaky. Yeah, so my reasoning in going into that parlay, I thought the Magic were going to try to build the wall and Giannis was going to get a lot more stats than points. But as it turns out, there was no wall able to be built, and Giannis was just dominant in the paint, and Lillard was feeding him the whole time. So if I flip-flopped my logic, just like every other gambler comes up with in their head, if I flip-flopped, I might have had luck, but I did not, and we did shit. So, Jack, yeah, it's your turn. I'm done here.
You know what? I feel badly because I just wanted you to have to carry the Mavs loss. We both had it on the card. One person was going to have to sit here and talk about how stupid they were. I figured it had to be you out of the gate. I wasn't prepared because I also have to sit here and eat the Michigan minus 3.5 versus Arkansas. Arkansas ends up winning that game 89-87. Great game. Arkansas appears to be for real. Go and sleep on Coach Calipari. I tell you what, Lance. been an interesting deal these last week and a half. We've hit the bloody season for football coaches. So I'm a former coach myself. Still got a bunch of buddies in the business and family and stuff like that. So it's interesting. Some guys going around. Some guys are just taking it in the shorts right now, getting fired. Be careful what you wish for, fan bases. Be careful what you wish for. It's very interesting to see what's going on. All of a sudden, you end up with Bill Belichick with a 400-page dossier telling you what your program looks like now from here on out. Which, by the way, people in Chapel Hill rooting hard for you, thinking about you.
No, but that's actually a pretty good point you brought up about how much coaches move. I feel like, especially recently, there's been a lot more firings that it doesn't seem like the coach was the problem, but the general manager or the athletic director has his shorts on fire. So he just tries to point the finger and get that guy out as if,
it's the easiest scapegoat available is let's point fingers at the coach and get him out of there.
So I have a question on that same argument. So a guy like Ryan Day.
Yeah.
Are
you asking if he's hot this week?
Well, he should be. He should be hot, I guess, for Ohio State standards. But do you think there's anyone better than him? That Ohio State could go get?
No. It's very simple to me. Like, to me, everyone's going to be sitting there wanting to swap their own pieces. They're going to be sitting there like I think everyone at Ohio State would really like Lincoln Riley right now. I think everyone at USC would really dig James Franklin right now. I think everyone at Penn State would really dig Ryan Day. It's ridiculous.
So it's just the grass is always greener on the other side, and people are impatient and just angry.
100%.
Unless you're an Oregon Duck.
It's a grass is always greener situation, but it's interesting to see kind of who ends up getting blackballed and who's able to kind of survive, right? Cliff Kingsbury was the offensive coordinator at Texas A&M when Johnny Manziel gets going. They did not recruit Johnny Manziel to Texas A&M. They inherited him, that staff, when they got there. And all of a sudden, Johnny gets going and he gets the Texas Tech job. He had Mahomes at Tech. And they never had a winning season. I think 7-5 was their best season they ever had at Texas Tech. Somehow from there, he's going to get the offensive coordinator job at USC, and then because Kyler Murray
he goes straight from Tech to Cardinals.
Yes, but on the way, he literally had just accepted the job to be the OC at
you're
USC
right.
Because he had just been he was getting fired from Tech. He's on his way to do that. And then because Kyler Murray gets drafted to the Cardinals, they sign him there. He makes it to a playoffs. But then he has 2 losing seasons, get fired from there anyway. So it's an interesting deal. And now all of a sudden he's one of the 2 names you keep hearing getting rumored for the Bears job that's open right now. It's fascinating. I think to a man, if you were to poll the average fan right now and you were to go across and scour the NFL fan base and say who's the best coach out there, I think you'd get pretty much a consistent top 3 or 4 names, one of which would be Kyle Shanahan. What do you think Kyle Shanahan's all-time record is as a head coach?
I don't know.
It's 70-58.
That's not
12 games above 500.
I expected not a lot better, but significantly better than that number.
I mean, he was 500 before, going into 2 seasons ago, before they got in this hot streak with this new the all-world team they have with Trent Williams and Kittle and Debo and Ayuk and everybody that matters, Fred Warner on defense, everybody. So I mean, it's interesting just how the PR of this all and how people just get whacked coming into this week. One of my best buds, he's out there right now. If you've got influence at your local university, do everything you can to get Tucker Meyer a job on your coaching staff. He's going to be a head coach by the time he's 40. He's the best young coach in America, not named Jerry Neuheisel. And he just got whacked from UCLA.
Damn.
And he overachieved. I mean, going into a week ago, there was a real possibility they were going to make him special teams coordinator, where all of a sudden you're making $400,000, and my boy just gets whacked. And now
it's just
he's back on the
business.
assembly line.
It's a sick business.
Job.
Yeah.
And now we go into the playoffs, and you're talking about Ryan Day and James Franklin are on the hot seat. If Penn State gets beat by a good SMU team, boy, oh boy.
Oh,
I
don't know what would happen to him. What do you think that would send him out?
He is 0-11, I believe, in games against top 5 competition is his record. And obviously, the folks in Happy Valley, it's interesting what happens and how comfortable you get winning and how your expectations change. I remember growing up hearing stories about the great Terry Donahue at UCLA that they got really sick of going 9-3, 8-4 every year and winning the Rose Bowl. Because of course, how boring is that?
I guess that's that's just bad stuff. I guess. Let me quick shout out from our boys in the chat. KG Little Joes, what's up, gents? It's cold as fuck here in Chicago. Wind chill 2 degrees. Jesus, KG, I feel for you. I couldn't imagine that as I live here in Southern California and I'm complaining that it's 58 degrees. And James Morris, man, the myth, the legend. He just says it's really warm in Illinois at KG. Come on, man.
That's some sermon.
Both
of you guys
boys.
Manifest destiny. Get west. Come find us. Come to Southern California. It's actually a lovely day out here today. I'm wearing a sweatshirt just because I can. No need.
Yeah.
I could top this thing off right now. I could be good shape.
Yeah.
I could go sleeveless. Piece of cake.
KG Little Joe's. Time to drink some El Bandido tequila. I've heard that's a very, very, very good tequila. I've never gotten the chance to try it myself, but
we're gonna get you right. We're gonna get you fixed on that one. We're gonna have Jim Bob send us out a little care package so we can start getting it on the show.
Yeah.
We can get a little buzzed up.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? Jack, so we had a clip go, pretty decently viral recently about Colorado, and you've chose to wear the Colorado sweatshirt.
Well, Christ almighty. I mean, I don't want to bash our guy Tucker. No one does a better job of the business than our boy Tucker Lowe editing the videos. But it was taken out of context a little bit, and that clip was a little bit more controversial than it was made to be in real-time conversation. So yeah, I had to rock the Colorado gear today to show my support. Hey, people, was born in Louisville, okay? First thing I did growing up was go to a Colorado football game. That's my fucking team. I got sweatshirts in here from 1994, okay? I'm wearing one right now. I just said I love Deion Sanders in the last show. I said Travis Hunter's the sure Heisman. I said Shadur Sanders might be the #1 overall pick. Let's all take a beat. I just said they're not a top 25 team, and that 9-3 fucking schedule isn't so 9-3 to me. Not all 9-3s are made equal. That 9-3 was fucking soft as shit.
Yeah,
call it what it is.
And that's what it is. And hey, I mean, just to wrap up the Colorado talk, because I guess we're talking Heisman today, but some of the guys in the comment section were fired up, Jack. Those were some of the funniest. I was genuinely like gasping for air laughing when I'm watching reading some of these. Like, they were so upset, and they didn't even listen to half of what you said. They thought we were just calling Colorado like we were just trying to hate on them. I'm like,
I did make them the scapegoat for basically like we can go play that game with a lot of teams, but we made that case on the show too.
Yeah,
we're just saying, you go through each conference. None of them played the important one. So obviously Colorado was an easy one to go at just because everyone tells me how good they are all year. And I can just prove it to you that that's actually not the case, that they're good, but they're not great. And that's okay.
So I actually have a question. So if you were using that same logic, what do you think about Texas?
So this is what has made the postseason really awkward to me. The idea that Texas could go be the national champion after being 0-2 to Georgia and not have to play Georgia again is crazy. That's just where this whole thing is getting goofy and just weird.
I feel like the ending is a lot goofier than everyone anticipated it to be.
Yeah, and then obviously, like we just said, not all 9-3 finishes are made equal. Not obviously everyone's schedule is made equal, but it's interesting. Preseason, I could have told you Georgia's schedule's fucked, how hard a schedule that is. And preseason, I could have told you what a joke Ole Miss's schedule was. So it's not like it's exclusively an SEC problem. It's just what Texas had to go up against. Yeah, I think we were in a big hurry to make them #1 in the country all year. And I don't know where Quinn Ewers ranks. I'm telling you, Lance, I just saw Cade Klubnik play in person and Kevin Jennings. And I saw Carson Beck play Quinn Ewers earlier in the year. I don't know how I rank those 4 quarterbacks, if I'm being honest. And I think all year they've been trying to tell us it's Quinn Ewers, Carson Beck, Cade Klubnik, and then who the hell is Kevin Jennings at all? I think Kevin Jennings might be second on that list. I think Cade Klubnik might be first right now. And very interesting deal. Texas, I'm fascinated to see what Clemson goes, how tough Clemson goes and plays them. Because I thought Clemson finally looked like they just put it all together against SMU, but it also, they only scored 13 points and one of them was a 56-yard field goal with 3 minutes left to go in the first on for the rest of the game. So I don't know. The front for Texas is sick. Their defense is damn good. They are that good. They've got skilled players and they've got great offensive play calling. I just think Quinn Ewers is not. I just don't think he's like a first round NFL big time prospect.
Listen to this, Jack. I had a buddy that grew up in Austin, and he went to high school with Cade Klubnik. Cade Klubnik in Austin, Texas. His high school beat Quinn Ewers in the state championship. Ewers gets the Texas nod. Klubnik goes to Clemson. Now Klubnik's coming from Clemson in UT.
What a good
How
narrative.
insane is that?
So I knew Klubnik was an Austin kid. I knew he was an Austin, Texas kid, but I did not know that he had that history with Ewers.
Oh, yeah.
Ewers is obviously a South Lake Carroll Dragon, one of the great mascot and high school brands of all time.
I was going to say, I don't know if I've heard that.
They've got the ugliest mullet, bleach blonde mullets for every and like everybody on the team, white kids, black kids, everyone makes a really shitty bleach blonde mullet going into the fucking playoffs, and they all look like shit.
Wait, that's hilarious. Awesome. That's awesome. One
of the great pipelines to SMU football right there, South Lake.
Oh yeah, okay, I like it. But dude, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good narrative. Like that when I heard that for the first time, I was like, holy shit, that gets me fired up for this game. I'm stoked Clemson's playing Texas.
Awesome. And I'm telling you, the college football playoff committee desperately needs the SEC to not go run through this thing. They're in desperate need of the ACC to play them tough, for the Big Ten to play them tough, and so on and so forth. They do not need 3 SEC teams alive after this first week.
No, yeah, 100%, because the SEC has dominated the playoff.
Historically, they were just getting a lot. They were getting 2 of the 4 teams a lot. So this year they were trying to make the case they should be getting 5 to 6 of the 12, and you're just like, well, then what the rest of the country even playing for? Why don't you guys pick up 20 more teams and we'll just do a new college football model? Because this is stupid. What we're like, SMU just has to run the perfect race the entire year. Miami has to run the perfect race all year. Indiana plays perfect. They played their schedule tough. It's not their fault UCLA sucks.
Yeah.
It's not their fault that these teams ended up having bad years. I mean, and if without dropping a punt at the end of the first half, Indiana looks pretty good. Indiana's almost ejected from the field because we want to squeeze in 6 SEC teams. But if the SEC goes and starts rattling off wins here in the playoffs and then in the bowl games, they're kicking everybody's ass. A&M beats the shit out of USC and Miami gets their ass beat, and, across the board, we got issues.
And now that you bring up Miami, and we're supposed to talk about the Heisman, Jack, I'm a little confused. I'm confused about the entirety of this Heisman race. So Dylan Gabriel and Cam Ward are the 2 quarterbacks.
Sure.
And I keep hearing why isn't Shedeur should have been there? That was a lot of comments. Do you think that has any should Shedeur have been there over the other 2 quarterbacks?
So it's interesting. Obviously, Cam Ward's the quarterback of a team that had playoff aspirations going into it. Shedeur was the quarterback of a team that was projected. I think it was 5.5 over under was their win total moves, or maybe it was 6.5.
I think so. Obviously, but yeah.
The bigger overachiever on the year was Shedeur Sanders, but just blind taste testing the whole thing and putting 2 guys side by side up right there. You literally can't find a stat that Shedeur excelled in over Cam Ward. I mean, go down the list. Advantage Cam Ward's when it comes to yards. I mean, they're 2 and 3 in the country, but it's 4,123 for Cam. It's 3,926 for Shedeur. Advantage Cam. You want to talk about picks and interceptions? Shedeur was 35 touchdowns versus 8 picks. 36 touchdowns, 7 picks for Cam. I mean, rushing yards. 91 attempts for Shedeur for a season total of minus 16 yards. Not a stat I thought I was going to see today. Did not know that. I bet we're taking a lot of knees. Congrats on the 9 wins. You took a lot of knees and there were some losses. But minus 16 yards on 91 rushes on the year was fascinating for me to see. And to compare that to Cam Ward's 58 rushes for 196 yards. They both had 4 touchdowns on the ground. I mean, it's Cam Ward all day if it's just going to be on
Yeah.
paper.
Okay.
But Shador had a chance to have Heisman moments and do it. And I also think this, Lance, which isn't going to be discussed enough, I think it's almost a political move. I don't think Colorado would even want to send Shador because he's going to divide the vote. Whatever, Gene T's going to get some votes, and then Travis Hunter should run away with this. The only way to make this thing interesting is if Shador went and stole half of Travis Hunter's votes. And then all of a sudden you got an interesting deal, and Gene T could walk out the door with it. With great respect to Ashton Gene T, one of the great stories and great running backs of my lifetime, but it's not close. I mean, we've never seen what Travis Hunter did. He was sixth in the nation in receiving. He had close to 1,152 yards, 92 catches, 14 touchdowns as a receiver, and then he's the best corner in the nation. So, I mean, what do you do with that? 4 picks, 11 passes defended. I mean, it's Travis Hunter by a lot.
Okay.
Even in a year, even if we had a good quarterback year and we didn't.
See, I don't know. I'm a Gene T guy. Gene T, if you took Gene T off of Boise State, how many wins do you think they'd have? Would they have made the playoff?
I still think they're in the championship game. Yeah, I still think they're in the championship game.
Okay, so
now I'm still it's not like I'm taking Gene T off and now you have to play with Freddie first year. I'm assuming like Boise State's got a rich tradition of good stable of backs. I'm saying Gene T, as good a year as he's had and the whole thing, and maybe it's interesting, maybe this is worth examining. If you just have the season in reverse and you have the first 3 games he had, his first game of the season, he had 6 rushing touchdowns in that first game. If the season goes that direction and he's heating up as he's going and he's at his hottest at this point in the season, maybe it's a closer conversation. Right now, it feels as if it's his coolest. If I looked at the stat 3 weeks ago, he was up 6 on the next closest person in terms of rushing touchdowns. Bryson Daly, the quarterback for Army, who I think is a guy that actually should have been invited to this thing, ties him with 29 at the year's end. And he gets to play Navy this week, so he's actually going to go by him.
Interesting.
So a couple guys, by the way, as I bring that up, Lance, because I think it's Travis Hunter all day. I think it's Gene T is a great case for number 2. I think he had an exceptional year. I just think, I think we all kind of made a nonverbal agreement amongst ourselves at the beginning of the year. If he breaks the record, then he wins the Heisman. If he doesn't break the record, barring 0 candidates to put up against him, then he doesn't get it because it's Boise State running back. It's less interesting.
I see, but my question, real quick, I'm like, I guess there's no question because I'm like, he played Oregon tough. Like, if you get in that argument about who he's played and all those.
I'm not even trying to suggest that it's the Boise State thing. I'm not even trying to penalize him for that. I get sick of that. He plays D1 football. His team's got to buy in the playoff. By all accounts, to your point, they did play Oregon tough. They played Oregon within a touchdown the whole game. They took him into the fourth quarter. He played great in that game.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a first round draft pick. He's done everything he's needed to do. Congratulations. But you just did it in a year where literally we've had the best 2-way player in the history of football. And it's like going back to the 1930s where literally the guy played quarterback, played safety, and kicked off and did the extra points and then dated the coach's daughter and fought in World War II. When the guys were doing that shit.
Yeah. That was a long time ago. But damn, I mean, yeah, you make a good point. If it's the best football player, best football player in college football, it's got to be the guy that plays both ways. That plays it. I was sitting here so hard, just ready to fight you with the Gene T. Now the snap count is impressive. I do think we got to chill just a hair on that. Like, we had a great 2-way player a couple of years ago for Jim Harbaugh's Stanford team. A guy by the name of Owen Marisic, wore 31, started at both middle linebacker and fullback for that team. He was never in the Heisman conversation, nor should he have been. He was never an NFL prospect. He was a guy that could just carry that workload, and he was really productive at both those spots, but he wasn't a star by any means. Whereas Travis Hunter is the 6th receiver in the nation, and he's got a couple guys from freak show schools ahead of him that were on inflated offenses. Yeah.
I mean, he was the part of all the winning plays. He's the guy that makes the big tackle against Baylor that wins them their biggest game of the season. Like he's so the guy. I mean, he's the sixth leading receiver in the nation. On top of the fact he's the best corner, you get the Heisman.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I do have some names though, because I don't think Dillon Gabriel should have been invited.
That was my next one. So I was wondering. I'm like, is this just because it's the best team? He got the nod because he's the quarterback of the best team.
Quarterback, best player of the best team. Just kind of one of those things, which is unfortunate because that's not what this award is supposed to be.
No,
I think they need to do a better job of everyone getting back on the same page of like there are years I do think like Tyrann Mathieu should have won this thing, you know, like some years, like we don't have to go to a quarterback. Like it's overinflated. Who is the best player in college football this year? There's a reason he's number one on Mel Kiper's big board. Not that Mel Kiper's like the fucking voice and like the truth whisperer.
I know what you said.
Football hierarchy, but like he's the number one prospect going into the draft, unanimously agreed upon. And it's not Markelle Fultz unanimously agreed upon. It's fucking Kobe LeBron.
Yeah.
Unanimously agreed upon. Yeah.
All right. I like it. Okay. So, because I'm trying to see, would I be okay with... Would you be upset if GT won the Heisman?
Yeah.
Okay, so you would be.
Yeah, Travis Hunter to me has clearly separated himself and should clearly win it.
Okay. All right.
Now, weird year altogether. I wouldn't be upset, like keep me up at night upset. I wouldn't be going
I know.
The fourth quarter there at Bank of America in Charlotte screaming at fucking mothers, Clemson mothers.
Oh, James Morris is fired in the chat. Damn right. Oh, who's going to win it all in college football? James, we're going to get to that. He said they would probably still be a 9-10 or 9-10 a win 9-10 games without G&T. Boise State O-line is awesome. Very valid point. He said, let's not make the Heisman like the NFL MVP. Factual.
Amen.
Thank you. That was, exactly.
Can I throw out a couple names I'd like to see there instead of Dillon Gabriel?
Yeah.
So you're going to love a couple of these. But one, we're going to watch him play this Saturday, Bryson Daly. And it's, Jordan Lynch was invited a couple years ago. I'm okay bringing a guy who's got no chance to win it that just had one of those fun years where it's like, holy shit. So Bryson Daly, quarterback for Army. Army controlled their own destiny to a national championship going into the second last week of college football season, playing at Notre Dame. If they beat Notre Dame in that game, Army's in the fucking playoff right now. This is the most unbelievable Army season since literally going back again to when the guys fought in World War II. Those teams, when like the national championship was Army versus Yale and the final score was 13-9, and Billy the Kid Kickna did something crazy, so whatever.
He did a drop kick for a 1-pointer that won the game.
Yeah. So Bryson Daly tied with Ashton Jeanty, I said earlier in the show, at 29 touchdowns on the ground. That's nuts.
That is,
as the quarterback.
Yeah.
He's also got 8 through the air with just versus 1 pick. It is a great year for Bryson Daly. Would have loved to see Bryson Daly get invited instead of Dillon Gabriel. A couple other names to throw out. Kyle McCord overachieved this year at Syracuse, kind of bet on himself leaving Ohio State. I think if you polled every Ohio State fan right now, they'd prefer to have him back over Will Howard So big time year at Syracuse, ends it by beating Cam Ward in the final game of the season, balling out. He led the nation in passing. Kyle McCord would have been a guy I wouldn't have hated to see get the invite. And then our boy Scadaboo, to me, no team. And to Colorado's credit, they're the other ones on the list. It's Colorado's SMU, but first, probably above them, everybody is Arizona State. Arizona State was picked to go dead last in their conference. They have a bye now. They got
isn't that insane? Year. I mean, we have Arizona State and Boise State with a bye in this college football playoff.
Cam Scadaboo, man, is a freaking nut. It's fun watching that guy play. I don't know how good of an NFL player he is. I don't want to bet against him. I don't want to get on that list. He seems like a scary guy to be pissed off at you. I don't know how well he translates to the NFL. I don't know how many more miles this guy has, because he literally is like just fucking ragdolled and pinballed all around constantly. But just for while we have him, he is so much fun. Cam Scadaboo would have taken him over Dillon Gabriel in New York all day.
I agree. I agree with all of those. The only trend I kind of saw with the two quarterbacks, Cam Ward was number 1 in QBR and Dylan Gabriel was number 2.
Okay.
But I'm
what
like,
a stupid stat, though.
yeah, I'm like, that's the only reason or the only similarity with it with statistics that I saw. I'm like, but Dylan Gabriel wasn't close to Cam or Shador.
Middle of this season, Jared Goff had an 8-game stretch where for those 8 games, he had the highest QBR for an 8-game stretch of any quarterback ever. And people were like, cool. But if you brought that up while he won an MVP award as if that was supposed to matter to me, and we didn't talk about wins and losses, we didn't talk about, touchdowns versus interceptions, we didn't talk about rushing yards, we didn't talk about 2-minute drives, how good was he in the fourth quarter, how much did he affect winning, and we're talking about QBR, I'll fucking pull my hair out and lose my mind. That's crazy. Yeah. QBR is such a dumb stat. I'm so over advanced analytics. And the amount of times we have to hear about OPS and fucking baseball. Just batting average, and then my eyes will tell me if he fucking affects winning or not. That's my job, pal. You shut the fuck up with your fake numbers.
That's awesome. Oh, James Morris, Scatabo is the next Allstott. How do you say his name? Allstott?
Mike Allstott.
I know the name. I just didn't. I've never actually said it out loud, so that was the little whiff there. But and then he also John Kuhn. We need to hear that Scatabo chant at Lambeau, just like the GOAT John Kuhn.
Well, Lance, we talked about this a couple weeks ago on the show, but because I was guilty of it, where I forget who I compared. Oh, I compared what's his name from Duke to Franz Wagner. I compared
Cooper Flagg.
Cooper Flagg to Franz Wagner, and I was like, I hate that I did that. I hate when the white guy automatically has to be compared to the white guy, or like the black quarterback automatically has to be compared to the black quarterback, and so on and so forth. So all of a sudden, you give me the 2 white guy comps in the NFL. I mean, for God's sakes, can we work harder, people?
Come on, James.
John Kuhn was a fullback, James.
That's so guy. Funny. The comparisons, the white running back has to be compared to other white running backs.
I see a little Christian McCaffrey in his game. I see a little, take me back to the 1930s and Doak Walker. I see a little Doak Walker in his game.
Wait, who is our guy? Hillis?
Peyton Hillis.
Little Peyton Hillis action in him. Oh, man, that's fucking hilarious.
I'm trying to remember this Stanford. Toby Gerhart. I see some Toby Gerhart in his game.
Hey, talk about a guy who got snubbed for a Heisman. Toby Gerhart.
Yeah. Toby Gerhart and Christian McCaffrey both suffered from the same problem. They played for Stanford. They played Pac-12 after dark games. No one fucking saw it. No one watched their games.
No one cared. Oh, here he goes. He said, James Morris. Yep, my bad. Here's a few better ones. Danny Woodhead, Red LaGrange, Rex Burkhead. Those are all just beautiful comps. Can't see a trend there, folks. All right. So Travis Hunter's the Heisman. There's nothing more to it. That's
no drama. Congratulations. And also a 4.0 student, also a no bullshit kid, never had a problem off the field. Yeah. I mean, for all purposes, this is the guy we should be rooting for to win. This is awesome. This is a big win for college football. A guy that went to Jackson State out of high school, by the way, snubbed Georgia. Ends up betting on himself, probably makes more money in the NIL circle of it, trusting Dion in the process, knowing it wouldn't end at Jackson State. But still, very cool. What a baller move at the time for a high school kid to go, fuck, I'm good.
Yeah, he's
I'll make it to the NFL.
I'm going with prime.
Georgia. I don't need Georgia. I got me. I'll go play 2 ways at Jackson State and ball, and now I'm the Heisman winner. Congratulations, Travis Hunter. It's awesome.
Yep. Hey, quick.
Let's go Buffs.
Okay? Go Buffs!
Don't get it fucking twisted out here, okay? Born in Louisville Hospital. 6:14 in the morning. 08/16/94. Don't steal my identity, but motherfucker, I'm a Colorado kid.
Yeah. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people in our
understand.
There's a lot of people in our comment section that might need to see that. They might need to go back and play that because they think there's the biggest Colorado haters of all time. All right. Heisman.
We're making very anti-racist arguments and rooting for Colorado. We couldn't be more opposite of the people they're making us into.
They're painting a bad picture of us. It's not us. We're good people.
Not us.
This is a quick one I want to talk about. Not too long because we talked about it a little last week. Conference championship sites are garbage, Jack.
Yes, but it's a microcosm of it's a symptom of the problem. It's not the problem itself.
Yeah.
We could talk about it real quick and just say how ridiculous it is that theoretically Cal and Stanford are playing for a game that's in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, or UCLA, USC. Yeah, go to Indianapolis.
Washington, Oregon going to Indy. SEC is in Atlanta.
Yeah, SMU or not SMU. Oklahoma, Texas.
I recognize Athens. Georgia is technically in Athens, but I know that's a 45-minute drive away. Let's call it what it is. It's a home game for Georgia every single year. Every single year.
Yep. Yeah.
Crazy.
And it's like,
and then
so would you agree, or would you think? Do you think they should move conference championship games? Just it should be a home game for the.
I think we should get rid of conference championships altogether. I think the conference needs to be able to answer the question mid-season, after the season, who your champion was based on the regular season performance. I think the awkward thing we've done is now we go to the conference championship game because you want to see a play-in game. But teams that lost in their conference championships, Penn State, SMU, are still playing for national championships. It's the whole thing's a little Texas too.
Yeah.
Right? All a little awkward. It's weird that Texas could theoretically win a national championship without having to play the team they've gotten beat twice by. It's weird that Penn State, who didn't have to play two teams that are representing their conference in the playoff in the regular season, and they got beat by the other one. The whole thing's weird. It's weird that SMU just got beat by Clemson, and now SMU is the 11 seed and Clemson's the 12. This whole thing doesn't make sense, and it starts with conference championships. And then, again, like we were saying, the whole thing is just, it's a symptom of the problem. The problem is how fucked up the conferences have gotten and how fucked up college football's gotten. I mean, what's the NCAA's role in any of this, by the way, anymore? I mean,
who can put their foot down and say, hey, I don't think this is a good idea, folks?
There should be a sitcom made right now about what's happening in the NCAA offices. Like, are they just sitting there twiddling their fucking thumbs, just watching games? Just fans now? Like, what is it they do?
They just collect checks, watch games. Why not?
By the way, they're supposed to be a non-profit organization. I mean, they feel pretty fucking profitable to me. I don't know how taxes and shit works, but what are we talking about? And then, the last time I saw them in a headline was they congratulated Tennessee for a couple years ago. Tennessee self-sanctioned and they reduced their scholarship numbers because of recruiting violations. Reduce your scholarship numbers in the NIL world? What are you talking about? There's no scholarship numbers anymore. There's no such thing as walk-ons. The thing in BYU doesn't have walk-ons. Every single one of their walk-ons is on a full ride scholarship paid for by their boosters.
Wow.
So therefore,
they don't even have walk-ons.
So what's the 80 number we're talking about? If we're saying rosters have to be 80 people, what the fuck are you? And you get walk-ons beyond that, but we can pay for them. I have no idea. The NCAA has lost their run of it. I need Greg Sankey of the SEC to become basically daddy of football and go be the czar, be Roger Goodell Jr. And the SEC and the Big Ten need to band together and cast out invitations to the teams that they want to fill out their 64, or at least create a system where teams can openly bid for spots to be a part of the next generation of college football. And then we just go to that model that we've discussed on the show. 64 teams, couple 32-team conferences, 8 team divisions. You play the round robin in your 12-game schedule, and by the end of every season, we've got 8 divisional champions, and it's obvious who they are.
You're 100% right. 100% right. All right. Well, yeah, we got a little action tonight, Jack. We got a little action. It's Thursday night football.
Ooh,
God.
I've gotten my head in my own fucking college football ass that I can't fucking see NFL right now. It's like I forgot we even had a game tonight. I thought guys was taking a night off.
No, sir. No nights off. Come on now.
We got Rams-Niners tonight, right?
Yep.
Is that it?
Yep.
Yeah. What's the line even? Jesus Christmas.
So
I've been looking Army-Navy.
Jack, the line is Niners -3. That's skinny, isn't it?
Rams won this game earlier in the year in LA, so we're playing outside tonight.
Outside at
San
Levi.
Francisco. Weird ass stadium. Hate that stadium. Weird location.
I've never been. Oh, I've seen the location. My former career in the military, I did a mission out there in California and just randomly saw it, and I was like, wait, shit, Levi.
It's like just off
the most random. Yeah,
like, it's just off the freeway, right?
And
there,
like
but,
hillbilly California.
There's nothing to it. Boy, do I hate that stadium. Went to a really shitty UCLA Nebraska bowl game there. Oh,
Woo!
like a craft fight hunger. Fucking 3 hours I'll never get back in my
Woo!
life. Jesus,
that's
right?
Just bad living. But hey, James Morris, real quick in the chat, he says Rams money line just for you, SoCal boys and KG Lil Joe's Rams money line. Stafford over passing yards. Stafford over passing attempts. Over 33.5. KG, you might be sneaky with that one. And James, thank you. Us Rams fans, yeah, we love that because that's who I'm taking tonight. I'm taking
Rams.
You're
going Rams too,
dude. Sneaky, that skinny Vegas is telling me something. That game should be 5.5.
Yeah,
I thought it should be.
It's all very interesting, isn't it? It's a divisional game. I think Kyle Shanahan owns this head-to-head record against Sean McVay.
100%.
And I think didn't Rams won this matchup earlier in the season? Did they not? So. I don't know. Deebo Samuel's coming off a weird game. They almost had like an Eagles type situation go down in their locker room where Deebo's unsatisfied, Kittle's not happy. Is this the get right game for the 49ers, or is this the holy shit that this like team that's been to the Super Bowl the last 3 years? This generation of them, it's done. Restart, rebuild.
Like, it's a big game for them. Like this is this is it. This is their season.
This is the playoffs for them. Yeah. This is the only way to stay involved in the playoff hunt tonight. So if you lose this game and all of a sudden everyone's getting older and more expensive going into next year, and we've got
you still haven't paid Purdy.
This disgruntled going into it, you still haven't paid Purdy. You're gonna have to overpay on Purdy based off this year alone, not off the overall body of work. You're probably still gonna get him at a cost on the overall body of work. I think he's better. But you're gonna have to give him more money than this season looked like, which is weird, which is a weird year. When you stiffed Ayuk and Deebo had to wait on the deal, and Kittle's kind of been quiet, but frankly, he's undervalued if you look at him versus the rest of the league and what he gets paid. Like what does Trent Williams do? He's like almost 40, playing left tackle, still runs a 4.6. Doesn't make any fucking sense. Christian McCaffrey's getting weird surgeries across the Atlantic. Like it feels like
this could be the end, my friend. And honestly, I'm here for it.
I just can't believe that. But fuck, maybe it's true. Maybe it is.
You thought I imagined they had 2 more seasons after last. I thought they were going to be good this year, and I thought next year that was going to be their last. Maybe they kind of wild card fall off, but this fall off looks like it's now.
I just talked myself into it, Lanny. I'm going Rams with you. I think it's right. I think the fallacy, the dumb guy take here, the following the herd, the losers in Vegas tonight are the ones that think this 49ers thing is going to just bandage itself up with duct tape.
Yeah.
I think we see it die tonight. I think John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are both very good. I think they're horribly, horribly overrated. It's fucking drives me crazy. Yeah, I said it. I did it.
Yeah,
I'm 70-58 overall record.
Yeah, you sure did. Sure did. And he's literally respected. Some would argue that he's the best coach in the NFL right now.
I, off the top of my head, can rattle off a couple that would blow your mind. Like, and you Joe, guess who that is? That's a better record than that. And you'd go, fucking him? What? Like Rich Rodriguez has a better record than that,
Wait, in the NFL?
No, not in the NFL.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought I was like, wait a minute, no. But I see what you're saying. Yeah, but that's still bizarre.
Mike Leach, like a Dennis Erickson, a fucking, like random fucking guys.
Yeah. No, that it is crazy. And then there's also like think a guy like Mike Vrabel right now. He doesn't have a job. So why would Kingsbury get a head coaching job ever over a guy like him?
Offense versus defensive minded. Where is the league headed? When's the last great defensive
Mike Tomlin?
When's the last time Mike Tomlin was in a Super Bowl? Do you know what?
True. Like 2010.
It's like 2011. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
True. Harbaugh. That's like
have not been
2013.
haven't been to a Super Bowl since Joe Flacco.
Belichick.
Yep.
He was.
Obviously, it's
He
been what
was.
it's been since Brady left, and Belichick's always the outlier. It's like Greg Popovich with the Spurs.
Hmm.
They both had the perfect soldier. Your
Yeah.
best player was taking pay cuts and embodied your culture and your whole thing, and you could coach him hard and do the whole thing. Without Tom Brady and without Tim Duncan, neither of those guys are who they are.
True. True. Oh, James Morris, he hopped in. No way. Shanahan is a choke versus the Rams. No Trent Williams. Wow, that's actually a big one.
That is interesting because they don't get the edge then. More so, don't think about pass blocking. Think about getting that fucking edge. That run game the 49ers get cooking.
Mhm.
If they don't get that, it sets up their entire thing. Their entire offense is based on that play working, and then they set up with the half roll play action, and everything comes off, and then everything stems off that play. If they can't get the edge tonight, this game's over, and it's one-sided early. I'm gonna hammer the Rams. Holy shit!
We're in Rams house.
Good call, Jim. Appreciate you, dog. Appreciate you, James.
James, I'm just gonna read off. He kept going. He was like, "This game should be a pick'em." Rams just put up 40 on the Bills. Sure did. Sure did. He said this game will tell us the next 5 years for San Francisco. Lose, and it's a full rebuild. Do you think they would completely abandon ship, or would they try one more year? I think they have one more year. You take if you lose out this year, you kind of just start resting people and say, you know what, next season is our revenge season. No.
Well, it's interesting. How much of a rebuild is that ever going to feel like? Because I don't think Kill or Purdy ever leave the building. So it's like, and then like they're not going to trade away Christian McCaffrey. He's just going to be banged up. Like we might just see the Calvin Johnson type retirement from Christian McCaffrey, where he's like,
I expect it.
I've done what I came to do. In this
I think he has one more year. He's going to try one more next year. He'll get hurt in week 6 and he'll be done.
Yeah,
it's sad. It's not. I never.
Yeah.
Talk about a guy I don't want to root against. Yeah. I mean, he is a Niner. Fuck him. But I mean, McCaffrey.
Sometimes these boxers late in their fights. I'm like, I don't want to see Christian McCaffrey like struggling to get out of cars. You know?
Yeah.
Why?
It's like it's not that worth it. It's the first down's not that worth it.
Tua, I'm good, dog. I enjoyed your career. I'm good. I'm good.
I still can't believe that guy at a presser literally like kind of like shrugged his shoulders too when he was talking about it. I'm not wearing a Guardian cap. It's my choice. Like, shut the fuck up, you stupid. You're a moron. But hey.
Yeah, even like the Mike Tyson fight, just like seeing that shit, you're just like, just turn it off. Just
yeah, that one was literally elder abuse.
I don't want to see this old guy die. Just turn it off.
All right, so it sounds like we got a squad right here. Rams +3.
Let's run.
That's the play.
You got a weekend play? Because I wanted to talk Army Navy real quick.
I have a Sunday sheet. You want to go Army Navy, or you want me to rattle this off real quick?
I'll get my Saturday in, so you can go your Sunday real quick.
Go.
And not a ton to discuss. It's just if you're doing nothing on Saturday, make sure you're tuning in and watching the Army Navy game, because I spent my whole life incorrectly thinking the Rose Bowl was the greatest sporting day of the year every single year, and it is a distant second place to the Army Navy game. You're gonna have Trump Daddy in the house for that one. The place will be going absolutely nuts.
Yep.
And it's two ranked teams in an Army Navy here coming in. Navy I don't think actually is ranked anymore, but
they're right there.
Way overachieved. Going to be an awesome game. Typically, the over-under of this game is something like 27.5, and it almost always hits the under. 39.5 this week, because it was just two offenses that set the American Conference on fire this season. Fucking Navy scored 50-something against Memphis, a really good Memphis team that handled Tulane late in the season. Army ends up beating Tulane in the conference championship as your American outright winner. Was on the doorstep of making the playoff. Army in 2024 almost made the fucking playoff. Absolutely absurd. Can you hear that? The construction noise?
I heard the slightest little nothing. It didn't sound. You're good. You're good. Don't worry about it.
Good deal. So anyway, I'm going over this 39.5. I think we get a great first half, and somewhere in the middle of the third quarter, Army goes up by 2 scores and it never gets back into being a 1-score game. So give me Army over -6.5. Give me Bryson Daly to score once on the ground and at least once through the air. Go Army, beat Navy, Lanny. I'm all in on Army that day.
Wow, I got a brother that was in the Army, so I've always been traditionally go Army. So nothing's changing this year.
You and me share a grandfather that was in the JAG Corps.
Yeah.
He was an Army man.
Hey, he was a captain. He was a captain. Yeah. That's real. That's legit. That's a legit rank. Hey, I got yelled at by those many times.
Go check service records, okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then there's Balthazar Neuheisel. We don't even have to talk about him.
Oh, he's all-timer. Everyone
Balthazar.
That's ridiculous. All right, so you like the over and Army minus 6.5. Lock it, book it. I'm hammering it.
And Bryson Daly's overs.
Yeah,
Bryson Daly rushing, but rushing. And the big one you're going to get is through the air. He only had 8 passing touchdowns in this deal, but these guys it's smash mouth, then they're going to hit a 70-yard touchdown pass in this game.
That's what okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, it's option until someone breaks loose and just
it's juiced. It's like plus 160 through the air. So if you want to park that into a little parlay that has Army winning this game, I love it a lot.
That can get you some fabulous numbers on Wana, folks. Fabulous numbers.
They can get you like $100 at some fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry casino, but it can get you $2,000 at Wana Parlay. So if you have any sense, you go place that bet at Wana Parlay.
Yep. All right. Hey, I like it. I'm tailing both of those. Go Army, beat Navy.
Go Army, beat Navy. Give me a Sunday. Break me down.
All right. I don't know how much you're gonna love these picks, Jack. I'm back to wandering. I'm
coming in with no preconceived notions, okay? You can sell me on anything, on absolutely anything right now. If you're coming loaded with a take, I'm prepared to receive it. Bring it on. I will call you an idiot if you're being stupid.
It's an old head. It's old head picks. I was told they're called contrarian picks for this Sunday. I'm really praying this isn't a generational fail, but let's hop into it, Jack. Let's hop into it. Titans plus 5.5 versus the Bengals. How do we feel about that? I gotta pull up the matchups because I'm stupid and didn't list them together. But Titans plus 5.5 versus Bengals at home.
Titans, I do not think are in the suck fest. I think they're interested in winning games. I don't think they're necessarily in a tank job here. Mm-hmm. I think the Bengals are interested in winning games too. They've not been eliminated yet technically from playoff contention. I just don't think it. I think they're that bad this year. I think that Bengals defense is a scout team defense. I think they hung on to some really big time career type guys that just aren't good enough, and their D line got a little banged up, and they just got issues. So.
And the Titans defense has actually been like good this year.
Yeah, I'd be interested in that over-under number because of how bad the Bengals defense had been.
46.5.
Yeah, but Titans been in a lot of low-scoring affairs, but Levis makes them fun. So it's either going to be short fields for the Bengals or big explosive plays for the Titans. I'd be interested in that over as well. But I like where you're at. Titans 5.5. I wouldn't be taking the Bengals minus the 5.5. I'll tell you that.
Wow. KG just came in with a little snipe. He said Daly first touchdown scorer in that Army-Navy game. That could be a sneaky bet. Yeah, that's a perfect one. Yeah, I like that, KG.
I bet it's like plus 150. Like I bet like it's like the next guy's like plus 800.
Oh, yeah.
He's the guy that's leading the nation in rushing touchdowns on the team that's going to win by more than a touchdown.
Yeah, see, James likes Cincy against the spread. James, it's not for the weak. I'm gonna be honest. These picks are not for the weak. You gotta have heart. You gotta have passion. Yep. All right, next one. Commanders at Saints. I got Saints plus 7.5 at home.
I don't like it.
Well, that's too damn bad because we're playing.
Who's playing quarterback for the Saints?
I know that's the toughest part about doing the picks this early. But Derek Carr is questionable. But even if Rattler's in there, these are the picks, man. These are the contrarian picks. For some reason, there is this old head. It's a big deal.
Are you fading public here?
Yeah, it's like fading the public, and then also has to do if you won on the road last week and you're an underdog at home this week. That's the bet. And I'm like,
interesting.
yeah. And
Coming
I'm
off a
like,
really good win. Coming off a really good win. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah. So the
And then you're
Saints,
getting
the
points.
Saints just beat the Giants. Not that the Giants are worth a shit, but it's like, we'll see. It's the NFL. Anyone can beat anybody, man. Like I said, this is where we are. Jets at Jaguars. I have Jaguars plus 3.5.
Right on.
I mean, take that one if you will.
Is Trevor Lawrence back yet or no? He's still
no,
out.
I think he's out for season. They IR'd him.
Is that right?
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah. Oh, actually, it's his AC joint. Is that what they listed it? They've listed his AC joint.
Yeah. Interesting. Not a fun one to do, particularly when it's on your right hand. You ever do your right shoulder?
No. Shoulder's always been good. That sounds like just a horrible time. And then moving on. Patriots +6 at Cardinals. This one I don't hate. For some reason, this one I don't hate. Even though the Cardinals have or especially last week, were pathetic. I can see the Patriots, Drake May, he could fight. He could keep it close. I don't know. James.
I don't know what's up with Kyler Murray being really bad late in the season every year.
Yeah, that's also really weird.
Now, I've pointed out in the past why rushing quarterbacks have the advantage early in the season. I don't understand though, like the fall off has always been a little strange to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how the book gets out of him by the end of the season every year because it feels like this Cardinals team has just been hanging on by a thread, and when the Rams win tonight, all of a sudden this division's going to get turned on its head.
Yeah. But no, a big thing about Kyler is, I keep thinking, like, they figured him out in years past at the end of the seasons. Like, this has been a consistent theme for him. But why does he still start out the next year firing? Like, why wouldn't they just have?
So I'll bring it back up, but rushing quarterbacks in the first 3 games of the season have such an advantage because you don't get any live reps versus quarterbacks as a defense in fall camp. So your aiming points when you're practicing, you're always doing as you're tagging off as you go by. All of a sudden you get into a game, you never get to work on that play. It's a different kind of tackle. It's a different kind of tackle. It's bullfighting, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're charging a stationary object. It's like, and then they get to make you look like a little kid playing fucking tag, and they just do the little wiggle. Everyone's like wondering like how people spin out of it so often. Like we can't do the upfield shoulder. It's fucking really hard. It's really
I'm like, hard. It's just a tough.
These guys are the best in the world at it, and they're whiffing constantly. So as you get going, though, and you get live reps against active quarterbacks, all of a sudden you work it, you get good at it, and then by the end of the season, rushing quarterbacks lose the advantage a little bit to make the extra play. But early first 3 games, fucking nightmare, real problem.
Yeah. KG Little Joe's. I like the Commanders by 21+ this week. Biggest blowout of the week. Well, sadly, I'm on Saints plus 7.5, KG Little Joe, so I hope you are wrong. And James Morris, he says, these picks sound terrible. But you'll probably go undefeated. Hey, come on, James. Thank you for the love.
It's been a terrible year for the NFL, so I think terrible picks are the way to go this week.
Yeah.
I like what you got. Actually, it's weird. The Saints one, the only one that offends me, but your weird logic. You hoodwinks me back in. Like all of a sudden,
I heard it too, and I'm sitting there and I'm listening. I'm like, at first, I'm like, what the hell is he telling me? Then he goes in, makes a couple. I'm like, you know what? Fuck. Maybe the old head.
Jags Jets is a weird one. I wouldn't even. I'm not betting that game because I don't want to watch that game. That game sucks. That game sucks. Patriots Cards I will watch. Drake May has been interesting. I love the Pat side. So I love 2 of them. The other 2 would just be stayaways for me. I don't. It's not because I like the other side. I just think you're an absolute madman to go anywhere near them. But I like your other 2.
Hey, I have last but not least Seahawks plus 2.5 at home after a road win versus the Packers. Sunday Night Football. What do you think of that one? It's a little.
What a spot.
There's a lot of going on. There's a lot going on with that bet.
What a spot for Geno Smith and the Seahawks team.
So for me personally, I would think they'd lose the game because they're the leader of the conference. And somehow I was listening.
Yeah, you want the balancing act.
Yeah.
You want to regress to the mean.
But
yeah.
I feel like maybe that's betting too much on my own narrative of what I want in this world, and that should never be. It should never be my motive, because if I bet on anything I want in this world, it's usually a. But
we'll add it to the Discord. I want to go spend a little time on that game because I actually think it's the Seahawks. I just want to go prove it to myself why it is. I don't want that to just be something.
Hey, I'm on Seahawks. That could be your reason.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks versus the mid-level competition this year has been pretty consistently dominant. Like, I think they've beaten the Rams. They've all the spots where they've been exposed is they on the road versus the Lions.
And they beat the Niners when Gino walked it in. They've beat some teams.
I think they've been pretty solid in this spot right here. And I think the Packers have had issues. And I'll say this, I love Seahawks corners, particularly the kid out of Illinois, Witherspoon. And our boy Love for the Packers has had fucking ball security issues all season. And all of a sudden, you give a couple extra possessions and the 12th man gets rolling on Sunday Night Football in Seattle. Oh, man, I've talked myself into it. I'm betting the Seahawks, aren't I? I'm joining you psycho. God, I'm easily recruited.
Dude, James Morris, right as you were saying that, said, please take the Seahawks. Oh, man. Packers are losing this weekend, James Morris. I'm sorry to tell you. It's a sad sight you're gonna witness. And then KG Little Joe's Cards game seems like a lock for the under. Pats win, it'll be a 16-13 game. Pats lose, they'll lose 30-3.
I'll tell you what, Lance, don't tempt me with a good time, pal, because clearly I'm up for just about anything. I'm in on the Seahawks thing like crazy right now in my head. I'm like, are you an idiot? Like, did you ever see the movie Inception?
Yeah.
Okay, the whole premise of it is like they have to make that guy think he came up with the idea.
Yeah.
Right? I won't spoil it for people, but they're trying to get a guy to think he had this idea on his own.
The movie came out in 2010. You can spoil it.
Oh, well, anyway, they have to go 3 levels of dreams deep to get this guy to believe it was his own idea. You need to be like sitting next to me on a subway and just be like, Seahawks. And I'll be like, oh my God, it is Seahawks. Oh my God. And I am the most easily recruitable fucking... Again, I'll say it. Don't tempt me with a good time. Let's get nuts, Hawk Nation. I'll get on an Alaska flight and get up to the Pacific Northwest this weekend. I don't give a shit.
Why not?
Let's go.
Why not? Oh, that's so awesome. But yeah, all right. I'm just going to go through quick just to rattle them off again. Titans plus 5.5. Saints plus 7.5. Jags plus 3.5. Patriots plus 6. And Seahawks plus 2.5. Those are the Sunday plays. I'm going 5-0. I have a feeling this is the first week that we won't have you joining me because we don't have a whole slate of college football, only Army Navy, and it's just me. I'm on an island. This is when we go 5-0. It looks like I'm sucking a wiener. That was tough image.
I'm trying to get a 5th pick back there, but if I could review my college picks as well, I'm over in the Army Navy game. It's 39.5 is the number I'm looking at. Over 39.5. I like Army minus 6.5 in the game. I like Bryson Daly's over in rushing. I like having him to have a rushing touchdown, and I like him to have a passing touchdown. I see.
So okay.
Those are my 5. Those are my 5.
5 same game. Okay, that's fair. You're right. I was thinking the yards. It was only rushing.
Yeah, I'm stuck in the same game world with this bad boy, and I'd love some kind of Trump prop bet out there. So I'll keep my eyes peeled for that.
One dance.
Yeah, one little dance, something. How many registered thumbs up on camera, something like that. I don't know. They're gonna flash them. I'd like to have action. I'd like to have action.
Oh, here we go in the chat.
Gatorade color over here. I need juice.
In the chat, James Morris, want a parlay podcast? More like Green Bay Packers Hate Club podcasts. I will say, for some reason, I've been betting against your boys in green. I mean, one of them I failed miserably when Purdy was announced out. So.
We talked about Balthazar Newheiser earlier in the show. He's a lifelong Packer fan. He famously was drafted there in Madison and spent time in the Lambeau area in Green Bay. Come on.
We got history out there.
I wear a Packers shirt on this show like every 5th show. We're just doing a little Colorado love today. We got accused of being racist.
We got lineage in Wisconsin. All right, you could say we're.
Yeah. Take it easy.
I got no
Mucho,
cheese
take
in
it.
I got
Mucho, take it easy.
Oh, KG Lil Joe's, if you go 5-0, I'll send you some El Bandino tequila. Oh, this is the one, Jack. The gods are speaking to me. The gods are speaking.
You done fucked up, KG.
Yeah.
You done fucked up.
You done fucked up. You better go to FedEx. I'm pretty sure they ship free. And James Morris, dang, he spoiled Inception. I thought it was still in theaters. Shut up. Oh,
you know what? You know what, James? I'm a little sensitive today. I'm still coming off my illness from the East Coast. All right, why don't you just bat down the hatches a little bit, pal? All right, why don't you cool it out here? Okay, I've had just about enough.
That's awesome. Well, hey, I mean that wraps it up for us.
Yeah,
that's about all.
Yeah, it wasn't the I Hate Packers podcast. It was the Wanna Parlay podcast, home of the $2 parlay and the world's richest parlay. Where every week, Lance, people are turning $2 into $2,000 of cold, hard, very real, very spendable American cash. We're at the midway point of the 1 a week, Lance, but people are already out there making money. We were hoping to talk to Jay Tato 4 today. Hopefully we get him on next week. But that guy's up $2,000 and he's been on the app for about 5 days now. I tell everyone who will listen to me, you want to make some free money here before the holidays? You got ski trip plans coming up that you can't afford yet? Just come to Wanna Parlay and come fund the whole fucking fiasco. Let's get nuts. Wanna Parlay, $2 parlay, turn it into $2,000 just like that. We got some people starting to put it together, starting to create quite the profiles out there. You could be the next to join them. Come be like the next Dial Picks. Make yourself 16,500 in just a month's time here at Wanna Parlay. And be back next week. We'll be back Monday celebrating all things Wanna. We'll be drinking some of that tequila that KG is going to have to send us after Lance goes 5-0 on his NFL picks.
Yep.
And we'll be back rocking and rolling, talking about college football bowl games and playoffs and filling out the bracket and having fun. So
Yep.
Things are good, Lanny.
Things are good. And if you haven't checked out our Colorado clip and you'd like to go see a war zone in the comment section, there's about 200 plus comments right now, and a lot of them are angry. So if you want to go fight our battles for us, we'd appreciate you. But
I think the key thing is if Lance and I could both go back and undo racism, I think we would both leap at that chance. I think we would love to go back and make sure racism never existed. So how dare they? How dare they use that kind of language around us and suggest that we're something that we're not?
Come on!
I'm a Deion Sanders fan, goddammit. And I just told you, beat for beat, why Cam Ward's better than Shador. Cam Ward's also black, by the way. Just something to think about. Anyway.
Yeah, hey, look at the praises we got going on over here. All right. Yep, that'll be all for us, folks. We'll be back Monday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. if you're on the East Coast. And that'll be all. We'll be back. We salute you. Ha!